It is Heim time. Welcome back, everybody, to another one of these post-race streams. We are going to look at the Mid-Ohio truck race, as well as look forward to Atlanta and a few other fun things. But welcome, everybody, to being in here. I fixed some stuff up, so I think I can talk more directly to you guys. Be sure to click the like button. Also, subscribe if you're new. We will be doing this tonight after the Xfinity race, as well as after the Cup race, and more from there. Before we get into the finishing grid, let's look at the cut line at the moment. There are 4 drivers in and 4 below that are vying for the Truck Series playoffs as we run right now. Ty Majeski, 7th, plus 95, looking pretty safe. It's going to take a miracle to get him out. He's all but locked into the playoffs as we run. Matt DiBenedetto in 8th is plus 5 over the cut line. Nick Sanchez is plus 2 in 9th. Then Matt Crafton plus 1 in 10th over Stuart Friesen, minus 1 in 11th. Tanner Gray, minus 24 in 12th. We got a thunderstorm going on outside, so if anything, problems with the stream, that's why. Chase Purdy, 13th, minus 49. And then the very, very big long shot is Tyler Ankrum, minus 76, 14th. Probably going to need a win on that one. I figured we'd go over that before we go into too awful much more. Looking at the finishing order today of this race. Again, click that like button. Let's get the likes up, because I know that we can do a lot better than that. But looking at the finishing order today after the 2023 O'Reilly Auto Parts 150, a 67-lap race that took 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 44 seconds with 4 leaders with 6 lead changes, 10 cautions. Corey Heim gets the victory in this race, then Zane Smith 2nd, Eckes in 3rd, 4th is Friesen, then Rhodes 5th, Crafton 6th with a vintage-looking run by him, making him look way faster than he normally looks nowadays. Then you got Majeski in 7th with a bit of a comeback. Matty D in 8th. Then Sanchez 9th. Tyler Ankrum, I believe yesterday's winner in ARCA. We'll talk about ARCA too, because that was wild. He runs 10th. Then you got Enfinger 11th. Hocevar with an amazing, I won't say amazing, but a very impressive and good comeback in the 12th spot. Then Chase Purdy in 13th. Daniel Dye 14th. Taylor Gray 15th. 16th is Garcia. Allen 17th. Daly 18th. Marco Andretti coming home in 19th. Tanner Gray 20th. Timmy Hill 21st. Mills 22nd. Our buddy Ryan Vargas comes home 23rd. Lewis in 24th. Spencer Boyd 25th. Haley Deegan in the 26th spot. She was running for a top 10 towards the end, gets swiped out, taken out, whatever you want to say, but she ends up 26th. Swalich, I always have problems saying his name, 27th. I have more problems saying his name than Van Gisbergen. I have problems saying his name right there. After that, you got Connor Jones in 28th, then Raja Karuth, minus 1 lap in 29th. Austin Wayne Self is 30th, a lap down. Then Holmes 32nd, or Wood 31st, I should say, 2 down. Holmes 32nd, 2 down. And then the last 5 were out. Dean Thompson in 33rd, Rogers in 34th, Quarterly in 35th, and last, Colby Howard in 36th in the 9. And I'm glad I sound better than Jeff Burton last week. But that race was a bit of an embarrassment. It was a funny one. I won't lie. I had fun watching it because I thought it was dumb. But at the same time, like when I watch a race, I don't want to watch people constantly spinning, wrecking, just going full dummy. And it felt very, very dumb at different points of this race. Again, funny, but yeah, not the greatest overall race. Alessandro says, Salowich, that's how you said it on there. And then says, next time, Jarrett, just say sandwich. Yeah, so this race was really the ballad of 2 different types of weather. You had the first half pretty much of this race, which was all under rainy conditions, wet weather tires, wet weather package being fully used. Second half of this race was dry road course racing, and you kind of saw who the real players were in it. So the start was rain delayed. Trucks were having problems before the green. People were spinning out into the grass before the green flag even was waving, before there was any race conditions. It was not very fun for a lot of them, but in the end, it was pretty fun for all of us. Not gonna lie. But I want to see what you guys think. So I'm gonna unpin this message and put a poll in here. Poll. Did you like this truck race? And let's see what you guys got. Yes or no on Mumput. We're going to be pretty down the middle with it here. Or not down the middle, like very polarized with it here. I want to see what you guys think. Did you like the truck race? And I'm looking at the votes rolling in, and wow. Wow, that is a big switch up back and forth. Now we're starting to see it get more even, but generally, you guys are leaning towards no. Some of you guys liked it. It is a 50-50 option I gave you, but it is pretty funny. But yeah, they started under the yellow, and I believe the first two stages, they decided to go with single file restarts like they did in Chicago. I thought that was the best move because, honestly, they probably should have stayed this way because these guys drove like idiots with their heads way too much up their ass at different points. But I thought good move to start with. And when they went green on lap 4 of this race, they started with the green-yellow conditions, which is not something you really see too much, I think, in NASCAR nowadays. They just kept spinning out. I mean, it was... I tried keeping count, and I stopped after like 6 because I'm like, you know what? This is just... that was just the first lap under green. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. This is just gonna... we're just going to watch this and you know, we're going to play clown music in the background. Still better than the way that finish with those two teammates yesterday in ARCA went, as I think that was more of an embarrassment to racing than this, which is just honestly kind of dumb. But, you know, like I said, is what it is. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know really what much more to say than that on the way this race started out. You got, I'm just going to call it kitty litter. I know they call it at the beach, and I know that's what it's called, but yeah, Tanner Gray getting stuck in the kitty litter on lap 8. Hocevar and Howard spinning out lap 14. And the towards the end of the first stage, the track started to dry. You started having at least better racing conditions, though Boyd and Connor Jones ended up going off track on lap 18, and that ended stage 1 with Rhodes winning it over Majeski, Sanchez, Heim, Eckes, Rogers, Zane Smith, Self, Friesen, and Lawless Allen. When they went back to green, Lawless Allen would bring out a yellow. He spun out through all of the beach, or kitty litter, and he had pavement right behind him. I'm thinking, oh, okay, that sucks for him, but he'll just back it up, get back on track, whatever. No, he decides to drive forward into it with no real traction helping him, or, you know, to gain speed into it to at least get past it. Brings out a yellow. That is why, and I'll put it in the chat right now as we end the poll, 60% of you did not like this race. But that's why we're going to put Lawless Allen as what I'm going to call him for that. That was a lol cow moment. Lawless Allen. With this one, yeah. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking there. I would love to know what he was thinking there. It is kind of funny though. The last truck race, he made waves for saying Haley Deegan did dumb stuff, and then he does that. I thought it was pretty funny. I see some other ones in there. There's Clueless Allen and Lawlessness Allen. Mark says, how do you expect the trucks to be good when it's a bunch of ARCA kids that are moved up and learn you need to wreck all the time? well, you do have the good ones at least. You had guys like Zane Smith, Corey Heim, those guys who are actually seeming to race a lot better. But no, that was a pretty dumb moment. But from there, you get a restart on lap 28, and it leads to a pretty good battle between Majeski and Rhodes, where Majeski ends up gaining the lead over Rhodes, over his teammate there, and he wins the stage with Heim now in second on the charge, Rhodes in third, then Zane Smith fourth, Eckes, Friesen, Enkrum, Caruth, Matty D, and Purdy rounding out the top 10 in stage 2, gaining stage points in this. Now, final stage starts. We get double file restarts. And with 26 to go, we're back racing. Majeski and Rhodes, though, get into each other, taking each other out of the running to win this race. Not saying that either of them were going to win it, but any chance they had was taken out by their over-aggressiveness. And from there, you pretty much had Heim and Zane Smith as the two that were going to fight for the win. So, from there, with 22 to go, you got Rogers stuck in the kitty litter. Won't be the last time either. When they restart, though, it is Heim, it is Zane Smith, and it is, I believe, I want to say Eckes. Those three, which ended up finishing the top three, would be the ones battling for the win. It wouldn't be long, though, before there's another crash where Holmes would be stuck again. Again, you go back to green with 16 to go. Rogers and self-wreck, which means there's another yellow with 12 left. 9 to go. Heim gets a great restart, but behind him, Caruth and Holmes get wrecked up. Holmes ends up getting stuck, I believe, again. Bringing out the yellow. That would be the final crash of, or caution, I should say, of the race. They restart with 5 to go. And there was some good three-eyed racing in the pack, but from there, it was Corey Heim's race to lose. There's not too much, honestly, to break down other than it was just kind of the way that the trucks are nowadays. Truck series, it sort of devolves into this. It is, like a lot of people say, a lot of these ARCA kids who get moved up, a lot of them too early, and you see the end product of it. But those who are good usually are the ones who get in front of all of the dumbass stuff and make it a good run for themselves in it. So, you know, I don't know too much more what to say before we talk about the Xfinity race coming up. I think that one's honestly going to be a bit of a wreck fest as well, or at least look like the game wreck fest. But Swerve asking who won. I believe it's actually going to scroll over the over me right now. But it would be Heim who got the win in this race. Another solid run for Heim. In the chat saying, I see people asking, do I like Matty D? I like Matt Benedetto. I think that he kind of made himself a little cringe towards the end of his cup time, but he's got talent. Good driver. Seems like a good guy. Cup qualifying on right now. We won't be too awful long with this one. Xfinity race is tonight. Just to answer that right now. Looking on Twitter at some of the news and all that, though, again, reading off the cut line for the truck playoffs with 2 races to go in the regular season. Majeski, 7th, plus 95. Matt Benedetto, 8th, plus 5. Nick Sanchez, plus 2 in 9th. Crafton with the last spot, a point over Stuart Friesen, 10th and 11th. And Tanner Gray, minus 24 and 12th. Chase Purdy, 13th, minus 49. And Ankrum, minus 76 in 14th. Before we go on, then, since we got our last little bit about the truck race, if I can speak. To remind you, we have a merch store at thedailydownforce.com/the Iceberg. All of the good stuff, hats, shirts, and I believe some sweatshirts as well. The NASCAR Weekly Podcast 400 or NWP 400 will be August 22nd on a Tuesday on IDK Players channel. And I decided to get on Zuck Twitter, aka Threads. So I am on there as the Iceberg_YT. And I will put that on right now. Oh, there you go. Looking forward to the Xfinity race. I'm honestly expecting a lot of crashes late in the race. Probably not somebody walking out of their car after leaving it on the front stretch again. I don't think we're going to see that. But I do think that we're going to see crashes towards the end of this race. I think that we're going to see probably the main players up there. JRM's going to be tough to beat. Hill's going to be tough to beat. I wouldn't be surprised if Creed was up there. So maybe some of the colleague guys. I think Haley is racing in this one. So I do think it's going to be I do think it's going to be highly contested. I don't think there's going to be someone as dominant as usual, but I could be wrong. So I see people, again, I'm only on there just because, I don't know. I just wanted to jump on for the hell of it. Honestly, it sucks right now. If they improve it, cool. But right now, it really sucks. Not going to lie. But so is Twitter. Like, I hate both of them equally. Like, they're both, like, the bastard stepchild that I hate. There's no real way that I can describe it other than that. But if you want to join me on there, I'll post random crap on there. There is NASCAR stuff on there. I follow Bob, among other people. But yeah, again, there's not really too much to talk about with this race. I honestly thought that it was, it was a truck race. So that's not, I guess that's not a great description, but that's about the best I can give you. It was a truck race. It happened. You got Heim getting the win. I think he had the best truck out there, so I'm glad the best truck won. I'm glad, honestly, I think at least two of the best 4 trucks finished up there. Majeski got back up to 7th. Rhodes got back up to 5th. So their days weren't ruined too much by the dumbassery of the end of this race. But it was certainly a cup race. How would I grade the truck race? I don't know. 5 out of 10. Not the worst truck race finish I've seen. I kind of expect this from the truck series now. But that's about it. Looking at some of you guys in the chat before we end off today. Based on my analytics, what % of my viewers are from Germany? Interesting question. I can look that up right now, actually. So I can tell you. I can tell you the NASCAR Weekly Podcast, which be sure this Wednesday to watch. I believe it's on Eric Estep's channel. The NWP, we have, at least on our audio side, about 2% of our audience is from Germany, which is higher than a lot of American podcasts and brands. By the way, be sure to subscribe if you're new. Also, you'll be able to comment on the stream if you're subscribed too. We'll be doing this after Xfinity and Cup. But looking at the audience percentages here, let's see. I have, in the last 28 days at least, it does not say. Hold on. About 0.5% are from Germany. We've had a big spike up though. A lot of Australian and New Zealand viewers coming in. I wonder why that is. But yes, I'll be doing post-race for Xfinity. I'll be doing post-race for Cup, whether they're rain delayed or not. We're going to be doing all that. But that answers that question, though. Looking at some of the other comments here, I feel like MVR owner says, I feel like Twitter versus Threads is going to become political war, so we may have to refrain from talking about Threads and Twitter in the chat. I'm not going to talk about politics. I stay at racing. People talked about that when I said that I'd jump on there for the hell of it. I rarely use Twitter anymore. I rarely will use Threads probably, but I'll at least give you updates on videos and whatever comes, in my mind from the void talking about racing. But we'll stick to racing. I don't want any politics here. The most political we're going to get is talking about the Chicago street race when any news comes out about it, because that is inherently political, unfortunately. But we are not going to be giving those kind of opinions. I promise you that. But I think that about covers it. We will be talking all about the Xfinity race after it's done. Cup race as well tomorrow. So be sure to watch all of that. Guys, it's been fun. It's been a day. And the day will continue on tonight with the race. But I see the storms are forming even more outside my window. I don't want this stream to go out. So I'll see you guys later tonight. Have a good day, and hopefully let's have a fun Xfinity race. Later, y'all.